Mumbai is India's financial capital and also home to some 3 million families. But nearly half of these families live in slums. That's because real estate in Mumbai is not just scarce, but also unaffordable to the common man. With prices touching new highs, the dream of owning a home becomes even distant. But will prices correct in this city? Lakshmi Subramanian finds out.
Mumbai, the city of dreams, is a mystic charmer. Visit the city once and you would want to stay back here forever. Little wonder then that lakhs of migrants pour into the city every day to earn a living and start a fresh life. But that is increasingly becoming a tough task because buying a home in Mumbai has gone beyond the means of a common man.
It's going to be impossible to buy a house for a common man in the city.
We can see the prices skyrocketing. And on top of that, the home loans getting dearer and stringent policies coming in. It is becoming damn difficult for a common man to get a house here in Mumbai.
If you want to buy a 1 BHK in Borivali, that will be taxed 65 lakh around. So a normal salaried person can't afford that 65 lakh.
If there are 3-4 people are working in the same family, then it is possible to pay the home loan. Otherwise it is not possible. Don't ever think of that. You will be in soup.
Prices in Mumbai have gone back to peak levels of 2008 and in some areas they are 20% more than what they were 3 years ago. With inflation shrinking wallets of consumers, they're sitting on the fence waiting for prices to come down. But developers don't see that happening anytime soon.
Where prices had risen very irrationally in certain parts of Mumbai, there perhaps prices have come down a little bit. But in none of our projects have we seen a new phase having to be sold at a lower price than the earlier phase.
I don't see any price correction in Mumbai because if you will put a right product and right price at the right location, it will go.
So on the one hand, developers are not willing to lower prices, and on the other, consumers are not willing to buy. The result? Volumes have come down dramatically. According to a report by brokerage firm Prabhudas Leeladhar, registrations hit a 20-month low in January this year. The lower number is mainly because those wanting to buy in the suburbs have held back. Registration in the suburbs is down 26% over last year.
Even in distant suburbs, you need to have at least 1.5 crore to 2 crores in your pocket to be able to buy a flat, So I would imagine that at least 25 to 30% correction, is something that is desirable. Some amount of correction is already taking place in the form of inducements being given by developers to rope in consumers, But I think a frontal assault on high prices is what is required to bring about a paradigm shift amongst the consumers.
But realtors have their hands tied because construction costs have been escalating these past few months. Prices of cement have risen by 34% and that of steel have gone up by 22% in the last 3 months. In fact, the prices of grade A cement in Mumbai nearly doubled in January, with a bag costing 270 rupees. With cement accounting for 15 to 20% of construction cost and steel accounting for 20 to 35%, developers are unable to keep prices down.
Our typical raw material is land. Land has gone up significantly as has the sale prices gone up. So what we buy from the landlords is very expensive. In addition to that, our construction costs have spiraled through the roof. Labor costs have gone up.
And so margins get affected, especially in affordable and mid-income housing. The problem is further complicated because of the main city's odd geography, a narrow peninsula jutting out into the Arabian Sea. According to Elaine Bertod, an urban planning consultant for the World Bank, if one were to draw a circle with a radius of 25 kilometers from the middle of Mumbai, sea and water would account for 2/3 of the surface area of this circle, compared with just 22% for Jakarta and 5% for Seoul, which are also coastal cities. World over, when cities are faced with limited land availability, they tend to grow vertically with taller buildings. This height is governed by limits set by the government called Floor Space Index or FSI.
FSI is the ratio between built-up area allowed and plot area available. So an FSI of 2 would allow 2,000 square meters of floor space to be built on a 1,000 square meter plot. If half the land is built upon, the building would have 4 floors to fully utilize the allowed FSI.
In most large cities, the FSI varies from 5 to 15 in the central business district to about 0.5 or below in suburbs. In Mumbai though, it is only 1.33 in South Mumbai and 1 in suburbs, going up to a maximum of 2.5 in case of redevelopment.
If you don't give permission to build houses, if you don't increase the FSI, if you do not do something about housing, how do you expect supply to go up? I mean, just because some people have done wrong at some point of time due to a housing shortage, and there has been some misuse of power in a particular sector, you don't kill that sector.
Because of some scams in the past or some requirements in the past. So one after another, to plug those requirements, one after another NOCs have been added to the list of the permissions which are required. And if you really go to see that once you go on adding without deducting, the list becomes so huge that at some point of time it becomes really unwieldy.
But increasing FSI could lead to excessive pressure on land because Mumbai's infrastructure is in a shambles. So, the other way out is developing the vast slum area in Mumbai, which is the only undeveloped land left. According to brokerage firm Anand Rathi, 52% of the upcoming realty projects in Mumbai, spread over 8,600 acres, are slum redevelopment schemes. Unitech is developing the 140-acre Golibar Maidan project in Santa Cruz with a local partner. HDIL has undertaken the Mumbai International Airport project, one of the city's largest slum projects, which includes almost 85,000 slum tenants across 270 acres. And Akriti City is redeveloping a 108-acre slum parcel in Sion in the heart of Mumbai. But the case of Asia's largest slum, Dharavi, awaiting for redevelopment, shows that this too is not an easy task, considering the political sensitivity of the issue.
If the government really wants the scheme to really gain momentum on the SRA and have a lot more SRA done quickly, I think they will have to look at it and try and bring in more transparency, try and bring in more ease to the developer community to be able to take on SRA schemes transparently and be able to deliver. Today, many of the large builders are just not being able to get into the SRA scheme.
Political will alone can ensure that there is adequate housing available for the city's teeming population, because an average Mumbaikar consumes just 2.9 square meters of residential floor space, one of the lowest in the world. And so, if Mumbai needs to continue to be the land of dreams, it is time for some well thought out land use policy.